Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Mike. I am a sport coordinator here at Seneca College in Athletics and Recreation. Glad to be back with you as always here and hopefully get to see you all again in person real soon. So today what we're going to do for BeeWell Live is a follow-up to another winter activity tips that we did a couple weeks back. I had done skating tips, if you will, or dry land exercises, things you can do to prepare for that particular activity. So as a follow-up, obviously we did skating, and that was really effective way to prepare yourself before you go on the ice. And now what we're going to do today is some skiing exercises. And obviously there's so many lower body, total body exercises you can do, like squats and lunges and things like that are just a kind of general health and fitness type exercises. But we're going to get a bit more specific, certain things that will mimic the movement patterns and the different components used while you're performing that activity. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about dynamic balance. So obviously when you're performing any kind of sport-related activity, it's not just balancing what we call static balance, which is just holding that position. It's dynamic balance. So you're either skating or you're running or jumping and requiring that balance and coordination while performing the movement. So obviously in skiing, or anything really with an environment that has ice or snow, obviously requires a lot of dynamic balance. So balancing, maintaining your body's equilibrium while in movement. Okay, so a good exercise for that is a one-legged deadlift. So basically we do this a lot in our functional training workouts, and it's something you should really incorporate. Any kind of unilateral one side of your body. So the first thing you're going to do, I'm going to show you hopefully from this angle here. Let's just start with our left foot. So that's my non-dominant I'm going to begin with, because you're going to do both anyway. And you're going to plant that foot down firmly. You're going to bend that knee slightly and kick out your other leg behind you. Now, instead of going all the way down as low as you can go right away, start in different stages. So bend the leg, lift that front leg up, and then graduate to lower yourself down. And then eventually try to extend that back leg out. Okay? And then you're going to pull that knee in. You can set the foot down on the floor, or to make it more challenging is you do the full extension down on one leg, and then you pull that foot right up. So that's a lot more challenging, as you can see, for the balance. So let's do 3 in a row to see what that kind of looks like. So you're down, kicking out the back leg, pulling up the leg, and then going right back into the same one. That's a lot more challenging than setting the foot down each and every time, where you can kind of gather yourself and then switch sides. So that's our first one for skiing, to prepare yourself. A lot of obviously stabilization, but dynamic balance is our main goal there. Okay? The next one is what we call isometric. So a lot of activities that require you to hold a certain position. So skiing, obviously, you're kind of, depending on the type of skiing, downhill, whatever the variety is, there's going to be some component where you're holding a position for a long period of time. So even if you're performing different movements, but you're never fully extending all the way up, so you're actually stabilizing the whole time. Your knees are constantly bent, just like when you're skating. So a good way to do that, this is a fun one, but obviously very challenging. And you can either do a wall sit or graduate to this one, which requires more coordination. So we're going to do a figure 8 pattern. So you're going to get yourself into a squat. Feet are roughly hip width apart. I'm using a heavier kettlebell here, and what you want to do is lower yourself down into a squat. And then you're going to pass that weight and do kind of a figure 8 pattern as you're handing off the weight in between. So obviously your quads are going to start to burn because they're contracting the whole time to stabilize in this position. And then switch directions and do about 10 each direction. And then extend. So you're holding it down the whole time while performing other movements that are very effective. Okay, so that was number 2. That was our isometric movement. Next one we're going to do, I love this one. This is really great to do different movement patterns. So 3-point lunge. So basically make sure you have enough room around you. You're going to do a forward lunge, stepping back, and then into a lateral lunge, stepping back to the middle, and then this is where you need the room. Make sure you make adjustments, is a reverse lunge. And the idea is you're going in different planes of movement. So you got the forward, back to the middle, side, and then reverse. And again, you can incorporate the balance by going down and then lifting the leg up, and then back down again, lift, and back down. So that's our general kind of strength exercise. Okay, next up is our power. So again, I try to stress this, one of the most important and overlooked components is deceleration with power. So obviously we're focusing on jumping here, for example, but it's actually the landing that we're really trying to focus on. So for skiing, instead of just doing a regular squat jump, we're gonna do a lateral hop. So pretend you have an imaginary line here, or put a belt down or a rope or something, and basically just hop over that object and land. Hop, land. You're not going for height, you're not trying to jump really high. You're just going laterally, hold, pause for 2 seconds, lateral, hold, and pause, and then maybe speed it up a little bit, but there's always a pause, because if you're just doing this, you're not actually getting that power developed, okay? So that deceleration, where you actually get to load on the way down to propel yourself up, back up, is so key. So give those a try. All right, what do we have next here? Kneeling wood chop. This is our final movement to get some core involvement. So you're gonna wanna have a weight. And what you'll wanna do on the floor is you're in this kind of lunge kneeling position, taking a hand weight. We're gonna do a modified wood chop. So you're gonna lower that weight down to the other leg towards the floor, keeping your arms extended. And then you're gonna follow through on the way up. But you're not actually using your upper body. You're not using your shoulders to move the weight like this, okay? It's coming from the hips, the torso rotation. Okay, so lowering it down, slow, and then follow through and really try to engage the core. Down, follow through. Down slow, up faster. And there you have it. So there's some different components and exercises you can do that will help condition you for some skiing. Hopefully you get out there, hit the slopes. Be well, everyone. Take care. Cheers.